talking unless y'all giving me land and 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
I'm not talking unless y'all giving me likes, you're sharing, and you're subscribing. You hear me? Okay. Well, hey, B. I'm back. I want to talk more about Real Housewives of Atlanta. And more so, I want to talk about Porsha Williams and her estranged bestie. I had to say estranged, I'm hoping they find their way back. But anywho, Portia's bestie, Shamea, all right? Because, of course, Shamea's mother definitely had some things to say after learning what it is Miss Diane said about Shamea on last week. But before we get into that, I did get a chance to check out Portia's interview over on with Mia's quote unquote best friend slash man, okay, Ink. So he got a chance to interview Porsha. Y'all know she got that movie out over there on Lifetime or whatnot. And if either it's out or it's coming out, one or the other. And so, she's doing some press for that. And she also chimed in on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And a lot of what she said was more so repetitious, what are people looking forward to this season, all of that stuff. But I just wanted to highlight one portion because I'm glad that she confirmed that I wasn't really tripping. Because Bravo did buy into a completely different Porsha. Because I'll never forget when Porsha came to us and the announcement was made that Porsha was going to be returning to Real Housewives. She says, Porsha Williams? No, but Porsha Guabadia? Right? And then shortly after signing that damn contract, she ended up filing for a divorce from him. So Porsha was set to give us a completely different life. And she could have stayed married to Simon and gave a facade of a life as she had been doing for the past year or so, but instead chose to divorce him. And I do question, like, was that her plan all along, or was it truly the details about his citizenship and things that really led her to get that divorce? All right. So, and I don't know. See, this is why I feel like Porsha was likely gonna get the hell on anyway. Because when you hear her talk to Kenya and different people, it was different things, according to Porsha, that was showing up that she was like realizing he didn't want to give her all the details of the finances and different things like that. And she like, what the hell? She even talked about that not only with Kenya, but with her attorney as well. So I think Porsha's plan was to get the hell out of Dodge when she realized that she was being scammed. Okay. And I don't fault her for that. That's why I think she secured that check with Bravo. Okay. Instead of leaving this man not having anything to show for, whatever the case is, let me go ahead and secure this money over here with Bravo. And now that I know that this is locked in, let me go ahead and divorce you. And so I don't have to have a lot of conversation around, how I got with you, why I got with you. I could talk more about me getting the hell out this marriage from you, and so whatever, while securing, my checks or whatever the case, because, she quit quite a few jobs. But she kind of confirmed that in this interview. And I just want to play a little snippet of it. And then we'll get into, a little bit of last week's episode as well as what Shamea's mother had to say. So let's check this out.
Me, I was thankful that Bravo kept me on. I mean, they were buying into Porsha, a whole nother Porsha, and then here I was having to rebuild my life. So I was just thankful that they worked with what I had to give this season. So shout out to them for keeping me with a job.
Truly.
Okay, shout out to them for keeping her with a job, period. So when I hear that, although for me, I still don't see it being a big deal with Drew filming with Porsha's baby daddy. I also don't see it being that big of a deal, in my opinion, that she did not consult with Porsha about him filming, because she is working on her album. And of course, that is something that's going to be a part of the storyline for her. So I didn't really see that as being a big deal in my personal, you know what I'm saying? But being that she had a divorce going on, she couldn't give them the whole lavish lifestyle that she may have wanted to, because he started to censor things. He was like, you can't use my house, you can't use the Rolls Royce, even though she used the Rolls Royce anyway. We haven't actually seen Porsha film in the home though. So he was able to get some restrictions placed over there, but not all. And that kind of affected her, and a little bit of her check and stuff like that. So well, it didn't affect her check. I don't think it affected her check, but more so her storyline is what it kind of affected. So that's why she's saying, I'm just glad that they were able to still keep me on board with what it is that I had to offer, which is also interesting because I do think that Bravo have their faves at times, right? I do think production may be a little tired of Kenya Moore. Yes, I'm talking about Kenya Moore just a little bit because you guys know we did a video and we haven't gotten into the full review of Real Housewives of Atlanta to go into more detail about the dynamic between Miss Kenya and Britt. But Britt did throw some strong allegations out there, okay? Threatening allegations, okay? And people can downplay it just a little piece, but listen, if a cop was there, Britt actually could have got, a charge with some type of terroristic threat or something of that sort, okay? I think my biggest thing is production going to page 6 and lying, saying that that never happened. And then here it is, we have full-on footage that confirms that it did happen. So I don't know. When I reflect back to her doing that interview last year, I remember them not mentioning Kenya for some time when it came to like securing contracts. Like, of course, they got Porsha. They were looking at other girls. Phaedra Park's name had came up. Then at some point they did sign Kenya on. So I just wonder, like, did they want Kenya back? Did they not? Did they just say, okay, we'll just bring somebody else back? I mean, Candi's leaving, so let us bring her back. I'm not sure, but it just makes me question whether production was tired of Kenya and they was like, girl, you got to go ahead and get the hell on because we don't want to see you right now. Like, we're tired of you. We need a break from you. I don't know. Maybe things ain't been right with Kenya since she went and got married, overseas or wherever she went and got married and never told them about it. Maybe things have been a little shaky and they saw this as a great opportunity. Not only did she do the interview, she had a few things to say about production, and then she does the show. She's threatened. They do nothing about it. She decides, since you're going to threaten me, I don't know who I'm working with. Let me go dig up information on this person to see who I'm working with. And see, she think I'm a BITCH. Let me be a bigger BITCH. And she actually played herself in a sense, not knowing that Bravo was going to sit her down because they've condoned so much of the behavior over the years. And then now that, she put out information that was already out there allegedly, and we're going to see that next week, they ended up sitting her down. And I just, as I said in the previous video, I just feel like, ooh, that's kind of messed up a bit in my opinion, because they gave Britt the opportunity to redeem herself with trying to award or trying to give Kenya some type of sympathy flowers or whatever the case is. But then when it comes to Kenya, we're not going to see her, I don't believe, be apologetic or change the narrative or whatever the case is for what it is that she did. And I thought that, on television, it's about conflict resolution when it comes to, this type of reality TV, right? They had a conflict. It appears that Brittany's trying to resolve it, and we'll see that in another episode. But then, Kenya brings another conflict, but we're not going to see Kenya resolve it, so much so that you're going to, like, just remove her, period. And she ain't gonna be able to come back and say nothing or do nothing. Y'all gonna have to have her at the reunion, just a little piece, right? At least at the reunion, you won't let the lady talk this whole time. So I do think that is a bit messed up. And I say that to say they have their favors. They signed Porsha onto a contract with the expectation that they were going to get one lifestyle and ended up not even getting that lifestyle at all. At all. Not getting that lifestyle. So it's just giving a little piece of favorites to maybe. You know what I'm saying? They worked with whatever Porsha was giving them. They're allowing Britt Edie to have her time. And I'm not saying that Britt shouldn't have her time. I'm just saying that it would have been nice for Kenya to have been there as well. And if you're going to do one to, if you're going to sit one out, you probably should have sat both of them out. Maybe not indefinitely, but maybe for a little piece. But I'll let y'all rant and rave down in the comments below, all right? Let us go ahead and let's move on, because I want us to talk about Shamea, because Shamea does speak on what Porsha's mother said about her in the previous week's episode. In addition, her mother, Shamea's mother, comes out and she shares her thoughts, and she appears to be very disappointed considering the fact that she and Porsha's mom were best friends at one point, which is how Porsha and Shamea became best friends. And then I'm sure they were, bringing their daughters up to be best friends. So this is just, honey, it's a mess. But we're going to flash back real quick, honey, and hear what she had to say.
I meant to tell you, I talked to Shamea, and she was like, I want to take you out, I want you to have fun. So I was just like, okay, because how do you know you're healed if you're only by yourself? You have to be amongst other people.
Right.
Girl, she went telling me she met with Kelly and Britt. The girls were just talking about me the whole time. And I was just there like, this is not fun. Like, I want to hear about hating women or whatever.
Why would she want to tell you everything that somebody's saying something that's negative and she's trying to make you feel better? How does that go together? I know you don't want to hear you and Shamea have been friends since y'all was in high school, but you got to watch the dog that brings the bone. Ooh, you're going through a freaking divorce. course.
I think she was in a position where she felt the need to take up for me in a way, and it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to watch the dog that carries the bone. That is what Porsha's mother said. And I just did not feel like that was right or fair. And the way that she framed the statement made me feel like there's been some competitiveness to exist between the two ladies steering from somebody. And I would want to believe that it's likely Miss Diane, okay? It's just giving shady work, just a bit. But I want y'all to hear what Miss Shamea had to say once she learned of this information. So let us check out 2 different snippets from her. All right.
And then also about last week's episode, with Miss Diane, you know, saying be careful for the dog that brings the bone. Let me say something. And I'm gonna say it like I keep saying it to everyone that asks me about this. I've had nothing but love for Porsha and her family. I will always show love and support them. I have nothing nasty or negative to say about any of them. What Miss Diane said was hurtful. I've done nothing but try to support Porsha in all things. If I had not brought the information back to her, it would have been like, oh, she's two-faced. She was over there with the other girls while they talk about Porsha. She didn't even tell her friend what they said. And now Portia's going into a blindsided, not knowing what these girls are saying. And, you know, I just know I felt like I was damned if I do, damned if I don't.
You were.
You know, and seeing as though I talked to her about it, I told her about it. Now I'm a dog carrying a bone. And versus, you know, if I hadn't said anything, you know, it would have been like, well, why she didn't tell you? So but that was unfortunate to hear, but you know what? It is what it is. And I know my heart. God knows my heart. And I've had nothing but positive intentions when it came down to friendship and the relationship. And that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to always lead with love. So there you have it. Now, as far as the music is concerned, I just love the feedback I'm getting. I appreciate some of the new girls even showing love. Even Drew, you know, listened to it, vibed out to it. I appreciate that. I'm here for the people that support me and that want to see me win. That's all it's about. Y'all look at.
All right, so y'all just heard a bit of what Miss Shamea had to say, and we'll get into the episode when that time comes because I do feel like that was really shady work, how Porsha kind of came at the table. Like, girl, that was crazy. Yeah, that was a bit messy, but I was like, come on, class act, when she was responding to, you know, what Miss Diane had to say. Always had respect for the family. Just because me and your daughter may not be in the same place, that energy does not waver over here. All right, I'm still gonna be me. I'm gonna be Shamea. I'm gonna still be respectful, okay? Because my mama taught me better than that. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give. But I know that's right. But anywho, let's get to Shamea's mom because she does share her thoughts about the matter at hand as well, and she was a bit disappointed. So let's check it out.
Last night's episode, but what did you think about the week before? About that episode? I know you got a lot of feelings, but we're gonna keep it cute.
I'm gonna keep it like I normally keep it, because if I can't be real, I can't be anything. Okay. And you know how my thoughts are, but it's kind of. The whole episode was good, except for a few things that I kind of lifted my eyebrows to, and I had to kind of take it to the Lord in prayer, because you know when I get offended, I be offended because I don't raise y'all to do that. The part that whom I called my friend back in the day, my best friend back in the day, Diane just kind of offended me when she said to Porsha, be careful as to the dog that brings the bone. And it was directly talking about you. And I was really upset about that. And the reason being is because, first of all, I would never, if I know that there's a direct conversation, I flipped the script and she was out with you and talking to you and sharing the friendship situation and what had happened with the other girls. And I came and I told Porsha about it. And then Sarah comes on the scene and says to you, be careful as to the dog that brings the bone. So you literally just called my child a dog when I know how I've taught my children to be very loyal. I know how you and Porsha are. Y'all are good friends. You're very loyal to her. And I've always hoped that she was the same way. We reciprocated what was given. Really had a problem with it because I know I didn't raise a dog. And I always raised y'all to say, you know, tell the truth to your friend. This is your friend. you would have wanted her to do the same thing. But for
absolutely,
her to not do
like
that,
I just wouldn't have. I would have felt some kind of way if someone was talking about me to her and she didn't tell me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely. That's human nature.
I'm like, I only operate on how I would want somebody to operate with me.
Yes.
And it's like, well, dang, if I hadn't told her, then they would have found a problem with that. I don't know. That was like to me, that was a lie. I just wouldn't have.
I mean, I would have never.
I've never
used
heard you talk nasty about Porsha or any of them. So
that's just not what we do. But at the end of the day, when you class somebody as a dog, I got a problem with that. I really do. It's nothing
I'm
like
a cute dog.
Yeah, like you said on the show. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah,
your snapback was really nice.
Thank you, Mom.
But like I said, you know, situations like that, we have to pray, take them to the Lord in prayer, because if you dwell on them too long, self will get involved and you want to retaliate. But at the end of the day, you take situations.
I'm not even going to, retaliate for what? Like, you taught us better than that. I'm not going to go after somebody's mom, and I'm definitely not going to. I just don't have it in me. I mean.
Who has that kind of energy anyway?
I like fun shade, which is what Angela and I do. Yeah. But I'm not.
That was cute shade.
Yeah, it's funny. But the thing is, I just don't like, when you're being nasty and mean-spirited, it's not coming from a good place.
It doesn't.
And I'm not going to be a part of it. It is what it is, Yeah.
At the end of the day, I really feel like Porsha would have wanted you to do the same thing to her, or vice versa. Y'all have always been like that. Y'all have always shared what each other said. Whether it was coming from somebody else, y'all talked about it.
Yeah.
And as you should.
Yeah.
As you should. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of time, because so much been going on in her life with her divorce going through and everything that's happening with him being taken away. It's just a lot on Porsha's behalf that she have to deal with too.
I think we all are having a lot of stuff to deal with.
Then have to, with you and my grandbaby.
Not even just that, but even just on the show, like there are several girls that are getting a divorce this season, and
I feel for all of them. I keep them all lifted up in prayer. Kelly. What's the other young lady that sings? Drew. I mean, I keep them all lifted up in prayer, because one thing about the enemy, he desires to sift all of you as wheat. Even when it comes down to friendships, he don't like to see a good friendship going forward, because he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. It's the same thing with friends. When you find a good friend, somebody that's there for you and loyal to you, that's a good thing. Never to be classed as a puppy or a dog. But at the end,
all right. So y'all just heard a good bit of what Shamea's mom had to say about the matter at hand, honey. Whew. I think it's more, in my opinion, than just referring to Shamea as a dog. For me, it's just the thought that you would feel like Shamea was trying to really be messy. I feel like she was trying to look out for Porsha, especially as much as she always has her back in situations, even when she's dog is wrong. All right. But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below about everything. I'm JamiThatsMe. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a praxis. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Aegis. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can